Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. My name is Matt Cubic. I'm going to do an update video on the Harbor Blue Highboy as well as a few other projects I'm working on in the shop and give you guys kind of an update video on what to expect on the channel in the future. So let's go dig into it. Well guys, first and foremost, this is my Harbor Blue Highboy that you've been seeing on my channel recently. Just a few weeks ago, we sold this truck on Bring a Trailer with no reserve, and it did in fact sell. So unfortunately, this truck is going away. We're not going to be seeing it on the channel anymore. This will probably be my last video with it, so that's kind of sad, but it's going to a great home, and it's going to live a great life. A guy that's pretty passionate about old Fords and Ford four-wheel drive trucks. And he's got a family, and they're going to enjoy this truck, I think, for a long time to come. But the auction on this truck went very well. It started off, if you guys didn't follow along with the auction, I'll give you kind of an overview of it. It started off very strong, very early in the morning on Sunday, and the bid started off very strong. It actually hit 60,000 in the first 20 minutes, and then the rest of the week of the auction, it was pretty dead as far as bids go, but you would kind of expect that with such a very strong early start with this truck. But a lot of conversations in the comments of the auction. Had a lot of fun talking with guys and talking about the truck. And then on the last day, the guy that won the truck actually placed a one in single bid, and he won the truck. I don't know if that was a strategy or not, or if that's just the way it worked out, but it seemed to work for him. It actually ended up selling for $69,000 without commission. So I think it's a very strong sell for this truck. I'm very happy with the price. It's actually higher than kind of what I was envisioning in my mind of when I started this project and the budget I had in mind of everything. So that's always good. I know a lot of people probably thought it was going to bring a lot more or set records or stuff like that, and I didn't want to comment on that kind of stuff before the auction. I just kind of let people speculate what they wanted to speculate. But in my personal opinion, I don't think it was a six-figure truck at all. You have to factor in the fact that it wasn't a complete restoration. You know, things like the interior wasn't redone. And I left the underside original. So there was imperfections in those parts of the truck. So the fact that it was original, I kind of like to leave the original aspect of the truck. So that's why I left everything like that. But as far as, all of that wasn't gone through and repainted and made perfect. So you kind of, the buyer of this truck kind of has to appreciate the originality of it, I guess. But anyway, what I'm trying to say is I didn't think that it went over and above, trucks that have been fully restored. Every piece and nut and everything about it's been restored. So and this truck I thought sold kind of on par with what those trucks have been selling. So roundabout way of saying I'm really happy with what it sold for. So anyway, it was enough that makes it so I can keep doing this. So that's happy enough for me, good enough for me. As long as I'm making a buck here and there and I can keep working on these old Fords and not have to go get a 9-to-5 job, that's good enough for me. So I'm over the moon happy with this truck and the way it turned out. But we're kind of moving on to the next stuff, so I'm kind of sad to see this one go. I'm sure you guys are as well, but we're going to have more projects in the future, and I'm working on the next Highboy we're going to do on the channel. It's going to be a little bit different than this one, and I think you guys might like it, but we're going to save that for another video. So let me go step outside and show you guys what I've been working on kind of while this thing was at auction. And you guys have seen it before, but it's my Wintergreen crew cab special. I've been doing a lot of work on this thing, just kind of tinkering with it, getting it ready to go and fixing a few things since it's been off the road for so long, since 1994. But like new heater core, put a new heater core in it because it was leaking, things like that. I currently have the dash pad out. I have a new one dyed up inside. I'll show you that in a minute, but we're going to replace the windshield, so I have that out still so we can have easier access to the windshield gasket and everything. But I did recover some seats These are just some pre-made green vinyl seats, you know, nothing custom or special. The original crew cab special had a very nice pattern, really complex pattern seat. It'd be very expensive to recreate that, so instead of doing that, we just went with some, you know, cheap recovered seats, and I actually just did it myself, so it's not even a professional job. But the first ones I've done, I thought it turned out all right. Unfortunately, I don't have a back on the front one. The original crew cabs would have had a back right here to cover up the seat, but my upholstery shop was like 2 months out from being able to do that for me, so I'm not going to wait that long. So you know, I just did that. So the new owner could probably have that done. If they have a shop, they can get it done for them. But for now, just doing some tinkering stuff with this truck, and I've done a lot of driving with it, and it actually drives pretty darn nice. The power steering does seem to be a little bit weak, and I changed the pump, and that didn't seem to fix it, so I'm guessing it's the steering gear. But it's good enough to drive, so I'm probably just going to leave it, just because if I start, you know, trying to make everything perfect on this truck, I'm going to be working on it forever, and we're never going to get on the next Highboy build. So I kind of need to get this thing moved down the road. But yeah, it's running great. And the old 390 with the 4-barrel and the, I think, flat top pistons, it runs pretty darn good. See if I can get it started up for you guys. It's kind of a little chilly this morning, so I'll probably give it a few pumps of gas. But it starts up and runs pretty good. I got a new muffler on the exhaust, and just slung a tailpipe out the side for now. I might do a oh, it's going to roll away on me. Might do a over the axle exhaust there once it's on the lift. But anyway, what I was saying about the old flat top piston 390 4-barrel actually runs pretty darn good. Pretty impressed with the power out of this engine. You know, it was used whenever I put it in here, so I didn't really know any history about it, but the thing actually runs really nice. That remanufactured Holley carburetor on there seems to be tuned up just fine for this engine. So pretty soon I'll be finishing this thing up. Once we get the windshield put in, I'm pretty much done with it. I'm gonna try to clean it. I'm kind of debating on doing like a Comet wash on the outside, or kind of the patina sauce stuff, or just leave it as is. I mean, it's probably not going to look much better than it is. But since we have the big gaping rust holes in like the fenders and the bottoms of the doors, you know, it's kind of, you know, how nice do you want to make it? Because that's obviously going to look the worst. But anyway, we'll see how that turns out. But on that truck, I'm thinking about doing a bring a trailer auction. I think I noticed or mentioned that before. But if they accept it, probably going to do a bring a trailer auction on that truck. I noticed they've been doing a lot more like project type stuff, and you know, lower end kind of trucks and vehicles and stuff. So they've been pumping out a lot more auctions. I think they have a bigger staff on there now, because I noticed when I sold my Harbor Blue truck, the amount of time from when I submitted the application to when I got assigned an auction specialist and we actually had a listing and were working on it was actually a lot quicker than my other auctions. So I think they're kind of knocking that the timeline down of how long it takes to do it, and I think they're pumping out more auctions as a result. So it's kind of, I'm kind of sad about that, because I liked how I don't know how you could say it, but like if it was on Bring a Trailer, you know, it was probably pretty nice, and they were probably very picky on what they let on there. Now it seems like they're kind of just letting everything on there, which is, I mean, it's good for the buyers because they have more to choose from, but it also might kind of wash out some of the other stuff. But we'll see how it goes. Still going to try it on this crew cab special, and probably some more in the future. We'll see how that turns out. But since I'm in the shop here, I wanted to show you the dash pad I had dyed up. This is just a white one I had laying around, and I used I found some green dye that was actually for a 72 Mustang. It doesn't match it perfect, but it's close, so it's good enough, I guess, for that truck. On the like something else I was doing that's a full-blown restoration, I might try to match it perfectly. The original green was a lot darker than this. This is kind of a, they call it ivy gold or something, but instead of like a green. But anyway, it'll look good. It'll look nice in there in the interior. I also dyed up some green armrest, and you know, little stuff like that I still have yet to do on that truck. So be looking for that. But in here I got a big care package from CP Addicts. A bunch of Dennis Carpenter stuff. You know, there's the gauge bezel. you know, a lot of little stuff like the cowl lacing. I have another dash pad I ordered in there. You know, stuff like that I still have to do. Like, here's the window stripping. Here's a rear view mirror I got to put on there. You know, that kind of little knick-knacky stuff I still have yet to do on that truck. But anyway, I want to go talk to you about my next crew cab project. Since we're getting that one knocked out, that's actually going to be my first crew cab that I'm really like kind of fixing up to sell. The other ones I've sold have been just kind of flipper trucks, you know, ones that I wasn't really fixing up that nice. You know, that one's going to be, you could get in, hop it, and drive it and go anywhere you want to. So it'll be pretty nice. But my next crew cab project we're going to be seeing on the channel, this one's actually not going to be sold, but it's my ultimate crew cab project. This has been on the channel back in the fall. I kind of took a break on it in the winter because I got the Harbor Blue Highboy I was fixing up and getting ready. But this one's been sandblasted and primed, and you know, got all the old Bondo and paint off of this thing, and the rust in the drip rail unfortunately showed up a lot more once we blasted it, which I was expecting. Originally we just had a hole back here and a hole I think right here, but I knew it was going to be thin all along here. So unfortunately it looks like I have to replace all this over here and all the way around the corner up here. But on the other side, I think we can get away with just a few spots here. It looks good all the way down there, but there's some spots right here in the corner. So I have donor cabs. I'm going to cut pieces out to fix that. So not that big of a deal. It's just kind of time consuming to you know, make sure all the pieces and everything fit good. But if you remember on this truck, this is the one we cut the A-pillar and the floor and replaced the whole firewall and dash assembly from another truck. So I think that turned out pretty good. And you know, we now have a good rust-free floor, and it's all Ford OEM sheet metal, so that makes me happy. Another thing that popped up, we have a spot right here, which I think is kind of weird. I don't know if that's a leftover from manufacturing the crew cab doors, because they're cut right here to, you know, the rear door and the front door are cut right here and spliced to this unique piece here for the crew cab. And it's kind of like I don't know if that's rust or what that is. If there's a plate under there and it got some moisture under there and rusted it out right there. But I'll be cutting that out and replacing that. And there's some rust in the corners of the doors we have to fix. You know, kind of typical stuff. But my next step with this truck, since I have that Harbor Blue truck sold and out of here, I want to work on one of my projects for a little bit, which is this one. I'm going to get the cab back on the chassis, and I want to get the 6.7 Power Stroke engine all running and driving, or running and starting, and figure out all the OEM harnesses and everything I need from the Power Stroke truck, and get all that sorted out before we start doing any paint and body on this truck. Because if I have to change things or add, you know, holes for wires, or I need to mount the PCM and body control module and all that stuff, and the bracket for the pedal, all that kind of stuff I want to do before it goes to paint, so we're not fabricating while we have the truck already painted. So I want to get that knocked out before this thing goes to paint, and then we can send it off to paint. And once this thing goes to paint, I'll probably be working on the next Highboy for that project. But hopefully I can get that engine happy. It's going to be a lot of trial and error to get that 6.7 Power Stroke happy. I know a few guys have done it. And a few buddies of mine have done it actually, so I have some guys to reach out to and get some help. But I think we can whittle the harness down and all the computers down so we don't have a ton of stuff we have to stuff in this cab to make that engine happy. I'm going to try to keep it to a minimum, because remember, we are keeping the original 72 interior on this truck. And the firewall's factory as well, so you know, I'm not doing the whole firewall back, or the firewall swap like a lot of guys do. Or the dash swap to keep all the instrument cluster and everything happy for that engine. So I'm going to try to whittle it down as much as I can, and hopefully we don't have to stuff a whole bunch of stuff under the dash to hide. But I know there's going to be a lot to hide, way more than the factory truck in this 390 had. So anyway, guys, that's the next crew cab project. But since we were talking about interior on this truck, I want to show you something I picked up just for the interior on this truck, which I bought a whole truck. And once you see what I'm talking about, you understand why I bought a whole truck just for some interior pieces on this thing. Some very rare bump side parts on this truck. Some of the rarest, you know, yeah, I would say some of the rarest there are. and it has two of them, two of some of the rarest options. So when this truck, it actually wasn't on Marketplace or anything, someone actually called me and said, hey, I know this guy that has this truck, would you be interested? And I was like, yeah, I'll call him, I guess. I'm not really trying to buy any trucks. And I called him and started talking to him, and man, that sounds pretty interesting. I probably better go look at that. So I went and looked at it, and it ended up passing on it and not buying it. And then the next day I called him back and said, I'm going to buy that truck. I just can't pass on it because it's very rough, you know, rougher than I'm used to buying, especially for a two-wheel drive half ton. I guess for a highboy or a crew cab, I've been buying them this rough, but it doesn't look bad on the outside, but it does have the typical bump side rust everywhere. It has a replacement 390. It was originally a 390 truck, but it has a replacement 390. It has C2 heads. I don't know what kind of pistons it has on it or anything, but it has a 4-barrel intake. So I'm guessing it was probably like an early 60s 4-barrel 390. Don't know anything past that. It's not like a Hypo 390 or anything like that, I don't think. But had an engine fire. It's locked up solid, doesn't run. Been sitting for a long time, obviously. It was originally a maroon color, but I don't know why the hood is gold. So I don't know if the hood is a replacement or what's going on there. But the whole reason I bought this truck, that might give you some a little bit of a indicator of why. But it is a factory bucket seat truck with the behind the seat storage box. So these options were not paired to each other. The guy I bought it from, that's what he thought was, when you got bucket seats, you got this toolbox in the back. But actually these options were separate. So you have the bucket seats, and these are the same that are in like a Mustang or a Bronco, but these are actually the factory this is a factory seat for the pickup, and these brackets here are unique to the pickup. So where you can buy these new, but the brackets are unique to a pickup. I guess you can make some if you want to, but it's neat that these are factory bucket seats. And the toolbox behind here, it replaces the gas tank, and you have to get the auxiliary fuel tank to get this this option with the toolbox. I think that's why a lot of people didn't get it, because it's probably an expensive option when you look at it on paper, because you have to get the fuel tank in this box here. So, you know, it's not like a $50 option or a $100 option. It was probably more than that. Well, I don't know how much it was, but you know what I'm saying? Like, it was probably like that much for just a toolbox, but it's pretty neat. It's not as nice a shape as I would hope, you know, just being 50-year-old plastic. You know, it's going to be kind of broken in spots and kind of warped. You know, it's a little bit broken right there. And I think this side, yeah, I see the bolts back there where it bolts on, it's broken, which I guess you could probably fix that with some epoxy and try to patch it up and make something work there. But I thought, you know, I was thinking, man, these would be cool in that crew cab, since even because they're red, but obviously get them recovered, new foam and everything. But you know, have these factory bucket seats, and then put this toolbox in the back of that crew cab, since I'm not planning on using the in-cab fuel tank, and just have some cool factory 4 pieces with this truck, or with that crew cab. And this one, you can see here all the rot in the rockers and stuff. You know, the floors are all gone, obviously cab mounts are all gone. The bed is kind of decent, probably a little rougher than I would like to start with on a restoration, but it's you could definitely salvage something out of it. So I'll get some parts out of it, I guess. But just the bucket seats I thought was cool enough to get this truck, and then you get the bonus of the toolbox. So anyway, guys, I hope you like this kind of update video and giving you guys a little sneak peek at the future projects we have going on that'll be in the coming months on this channel. But for now, I'm going to work on that crew cab special. I have to get it ready to go get the new windshield put in, and I'm also going to actually deliver the Harbor Blue Highboy truck tomorrow. So I'm leaving tomorrow. I'm going to deliver it to the guy, so I'm going to get to meet him and show him the truck. So I'm really happy about that. You know, that kind of helps me send the truck off in a positive way, instead of just seeing it leave on a transport truck or something like that. So really happy I get to do that with that truck. That makes me smile on the inside, because I'm going to get to meet the family and show them the truck and see the smiles on their faces. So that makes it all worth it. But anyway, guys, I'm going to call it quits on this episode, and just a quick update video. I'll see you guys in the next one. Be watching for those crew cab videos and a highboy video after that. But see you guys in the next one. Thanks for watching.